Welcome into Around the Felt. I'm your host, Reagan. I'm here with my co-host, Colin, and we're here to talk some Cleveland Browns football in 2025. What are they going to do? Is it going to be more of 2024, or is this team going to have a nice improvement in 2025 and see some more wins? I don't know. Well, I don't know. It's going to be an interesting one for sure to talk about. But Colin, what's up, man? You excited to talk about the Browns?
I'm not too excited to talk about this team, man. But what I am excited about is to have to not talk about Deshaun Watson. I mean, because that guy sucks. So it's a damn shame Deshaun Watson put this team in the hole that it's in. Not too far back, the Cleveland Brownies were your Cinderella team, Reagan, in the playoffs, led by Joe Flacco, who's now back in 2023 when they had like 11 different quarterbacks.
Hey, man, they were fucking fun with Joe Flacco, man.
They switched their quarterback 11 times throughout the season and made the playoffs. And then
Joe
last
Flacco
year, of
was
course,
winning comeback player of the year. So they were fun, man.
Yeah, fun. And then, the wheels fell off last year, and this team not looking too hot for 2025, Reagan. Their win total at 4.5. They're actually favored in only one game as of right now, which is pretty sad. Some key additions, mostly through the draft for this team. They had like the most valuable plethora of picks of every team in the draft. So you'd hope that they're going to hit on some of these guys. Of course, Mason Graham, they took 5th overall after trading back with the Jacksonville Jaguars, giving up the rights to Travis Hunter. Quinshon Judkins, they added in the 2nd round. Of course, the plethora of quarterbacks, Joe Flacco.
Actually, speaking of Judkins as well, I don't know if you saw, but he just got arrested in Florida.
He did just get arrested. Yep. So we'll let the legal process play out. But yes, that is not a good start for the Browns heading into 2025 is the running back you took. I think it was 38th overall in legal trouble already. So not ideal. And then they added 4 quarterbacks, Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, Shedeur Sanders, and Dylan Gabriel. Not that any of them are sexy options at this point of their careers. They added Joe Tryon-Shoyinka from the Bucs, who was just they took him the 1st round out of Washington back in 2020, and he's been terrible. So, not a huge addition to that defense. Tevin Jenkins, the offensive lineman from Chicago. Deontay Johnson, if he wants to go in the game and play a little bit this year. So maybe he'll be an addition. And Jerome Baker at linebacker. Some losses. Jedrick Wills, who's, battled a lot of injuries in his career, unfortunately. Jameis Winston, Nick Chubb, who was not the old Nick Chubb last year. Deontay Foreman, Mike Ford, Elijah Moore, James Hudson. So some losses there for this team. 4.5 win total. I mean, they're really being held back by Watson. He's a $31 million cap hit in 2025. They had to restructure. So now it's an $81 million dead cap hit in 2026. $131 million in dead money if they release him. $131 million in dead money if they release him. And also, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah out for the year with a neck injury, which is brutal for this team. With all that being said, Reagan, I know you're not picking this team to make the playoffs. Will they at least win more than 4.5 games?
I guess I'm being a hater. I got them at 3-14 because I just think they're going to have so many different variations of this offense. Like, I don't think Joe Flacco is what he was when he was here last time. I don't think Kenny Pickett's very good. I don't know what to expect out of either of the rookie quarterbacks they drafted in Dylan Gabriel or Shedeur. I would think both will get an opportunity, and I don't think it'll go well for either. I do like Judy and Tillman, like that. Those are some good weapons to give them. And, Harold Fanning's very interested in Njoku. They do have the weapons, but ultimately, I think the quarterback play will hold them back. I mean, the defense has got a couple guys there. I do like the pairing of Myles Garrett and Mason Graham. I was hoping we got to see Myles Garrett and Abdul Carter because I thought that would have been awesome. But, regardless, they go and get Mason Graham to pair with Garrett. So that's going to be sick. And Carson Swearinger. I don't know how I'm saying it wrong, but the linebacker out of UCLA, he's going to be a stud as well. So, I mean, they definitely got some guys. It's just, I don't know, man. It's just hard to believe in this, but I guess maybe I'm being a hater. I am being a hater, and I know it sounds like that. I mean, I just hope one of these quarterbacks really works out. The one I'm actually highest on is Dylan Gabriel. I think he could have a big impact. And I hope he gets a chance before Shedeur Sanders, because why else draft him before Sanders if you're not going to give him the chance before him? But that's one guy that very interests me a lot.
Yeah, very similar for me, Reagan. I got him at 4 and 13, and it's like you said, like you look around at this roster, and their front seven, I really like it. The addition of Mason Graham to play alongside Myles Garrett, who of course is first ballot Hall of Famer, 14 sacks, led the league in pressure rate last year, total stud. And as a team, they were first in pressure rate, but they only had 41 sacks, so they didn't convert a lot of those. So now adding Schlesinger and Graham to that front, I think this team's going to look more like the 2023 Cleveland Browns defense than the 2024. But a lot of that's going to hinge on the secondary because they were elite in 23. Took a step back last year, let up a ton of explosive plays, only had 4 picks. Talent's still there with Denzel Ward, Greg Newsome. I do like what they have on the back end, but they got to put it together. And to your point too, like, their weaponry is not the sexiest names, but Judy had over 1,200 yards last year and 90 receptions, still only 4 touchdowns. A lot of that was with Jameis Winston, though. So that's why it's hard to project this team, like what they're going to do counting stats wise and for fantasies, because all the quarterbacks are gone and you brought 4 new ones in and you don't even know who's going to be the starter. Like, the Joke only played 11 games, still had 500 yards and 5 touchdowns. Like, he's a solid tight end. Tillman, when he got his chance after, Cooper was traded, before Tillman got hurt, in 4 games, he averaged 6 catches for 76 yards.
Yeah, he was nice.
He was nice, And I've been stashing him in some of my dynasty leagues for a little bit. So to start to see that production, I'm like, this offseason, I'm like, I can't drop him.
No, you can't.
See what happens.
After that, he showed enough.
And he's clearly their number 2 wide receiver behind Judy, right? So
very clear. I don't think Deontay Johnson's anything, and after that, it's just a bunch of unproven guys, or DeAndre Carter, who's a special teamer.
Yeah, I would have liked to see Elijah Moore stick around, but like clearly they don't have the cap space to keep guys around like that. They're just gonna funnel through with the draft and just added some.
And I think Fanning too will use in some interesting ways. I think he'll get a lot. Like, I think he'll be on the field a lot. They'll probably run a lot of 2 tight end sets.
I like Fanning. He's an interesting prospect because his 40 time was like over a 4.6. He's not very athletic, but you can't deny his production and how he got open and what he did after the catch. And he even showed it against Penn State. I mean,
4.6 for a tight end isn't.
Well, he was slow. His athletic testing was very bad at the combine. But I mean, he lit up Penn State, right? And Penn State knew this is their guy, and he still dominated Penn State. I think he had over 1,500 yards last year, definitely over 1,400. So I do like that addition later in the draft. I love Quinshon Judkins. He's a physical downhill runner. He's going to step into that Chubb role. We're probably going to see a lot of loaded boxes given their quarterback situation. And that's where Judkins thrived at Ohio State and Ole Miss. 5.3 yards per carry and 8+ man boxes last year. So I'm really high on Judkins. I have him in 2 dynasty leagues. Back to the quarterback situation, because that's really why this team's going to win.
It's interesting. Games. Does make it interesting.
Who do you think is going to start week 1? It's probably Flacco, but are you confident he's going to be starting by week 5? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I would guess it's Flacco just because he's the most proven. I don't even know. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if Kenny Pickett doesn't even get a chance, to be honest.
I can see Kenny Pickett getting released. I mean, I'm sure he's looking for a way out as is, right? Like, he doesn't want to be there in Cleveland. I doubt it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I like I said, I would love to see Dylan Gabriel. Like, when they drafted him, in my mind, I was like, holy shit, like, this is a sleeper for Rookie of the Year. Like, just because I think he's a gunslinger. He's an undersized guy, but put up a lot of production. And I kind of saw him coming in and, kind of like I guess like a similar to Tua, like in that sense where he's going to get the ball out quick. He's like,
because he's Hawaiian and lefty.
Like, no, but I mean, like, I mean, it is a good comp,
you picked the other Hawaiian lefty quarterback.
Yeah, I know. But like, that's kind of, but he's an undersized guy. So I just feel like he can get the ball out quick and they have enough weapons around him where he can get it done. So that's the guy I want to see get the most opportunity at quarterback. He's probably going to get the second or third crack out of it. I'm just going to be really annoyed if they give Shedeur a chance over him, because I do think Gabriel has more production. And also, it's not just that. Like, we've seen a lot of these guys succeed where they play a lot of football in college. Like, Dylan Gabriel's 24. You know, he's not raw. It just comes down to the size and athleticism, where Shedeur's like, I mean, I guess Shedeur's 23. I mean, they're both older quarterbacks, but I would just like to see Dylan Gabriel, with the amount of football he played and amount of touchdowns he threw throughout his career, get a crack at it.
Yeah, so my guess is Flacco is going to start the season, and I think that both Shedeur and Gabriel will get starts. I don't think Kenny Pickett's on the team week 1. I think they'll move him in training camp. It would be my guess, because I think they're going to want to keep the two rookies. Asset,
wait for an injury to happen, because then some team will want to trade for Pickett.
That's kind of what I think will happen, because at the end of the day, I think the Browns realize they're not a playoff team this year. And of course, the players and coaches are going to try to win games. But I think at the end of the day, you have to come out of this season, is either Gabriel or Sanders at least somewhat of an answer? Are they worth another look? Because they traded out of number 2 and got the Jags first-round pick in 26. That tells me they are gearing up to get a top quarterback in 26. And all 3 of these guys, four if you include Pickett, are kind of placeholders right now. I don't see Gabriel or Sanders being their long-term answer. I'd have more confidence.
I could totally see it being Gabriel. I'm so bought in on him, dude.
I'm very low on Gabriel. Very low on Gabriel.
I'm super high,
He does not have the arm talent. His arm is not strong enough, like, at all.
I just think he's going to come in and win games. Like, I think he can just win games and be a good game manager.
I mean, maybe, but
I'm super excited,
some
dude.
Games. I don't know, dude. I think he's going to struggle.
If he gets a chance early, bro, I'm definitely sprinkling on him for Rookie of the Year.
That's bold. I mean, he's probably
I think he could
10,000, but
if out of all the rookie quarterbacks this year, if he actually gets a chance, I could see him being the best one. Not like long term, but just in year 1.
But if you're talking,
because he's played the most football. Like, I think his ceiling obviously is nowhere near as high as those guys like Dart and Ward and Shuck, whatever. I mean, he's actually older than Gabriel,
yeah.
but Gabriel's played a hell of a lot more football than him. But yeah, I think he could have the best rookie year. I mean, it's not a lot of, we don't know like when Dart will even play this year. And I'd imagine Ward and Shuck are going to have a lot of growing pains because they're both in not great situations in year 1.
Well, if you're talking just quarterbacks, okay. But Ashton Genty's probably the leader in the clubhouse for offensive rookie of the year.
Yeah.
So if you're talking just QBs, it's not a good quarterback class. So the opportunities there.
That's what I'm saying,
how many games? But that would mean Gabriel's got to start in the first half of the season and not lose hold of that job. Do you see that happening?
I mean, I think if he gets the job, I think there's a good chance he can keep it, because I think he could be the best quarterback on this roster. I really do.
Well, I think they're all better than Deshaun Watson, because he was statistically the actual worst quarterback in football when he played last year. Like, any quarterback that had more than 150 pass attempts, Watson is at the bottom or at the bottom in almost every metric. That's how bad he was, and they went 1-5. And then he tore his Achilles, and the season was over. Right? So, and when you also pair all of this that we've just talked about, the quarterback uncertainties, they have the second most difficult schedule in football this year. How does that happen? The Giants and the Browns, who just picked top 5, have the top 2 most difficult schedules in the league. I get it. The AFC North's a gauntlet, but they drew a really tough schedule, including the most difficult schedule of offenses. So that defense will get tested a lot, and they're going to need a quarterback that's going to be able to score enough points, because they were last in the league in points last year. That can't happen again. But at the end of the day, they're not making the playoffs anyways. They just need to see some type of growth from one of these young quarterbacks for it to be a successful season. Or it's just we're looking at 2026 already.
I'm just thinking in my head, give Dylan Gabriel a chance, man. I'm picking up all the dynasty stock after this podcast. I already have been a lot, but
yeah,
fuck, man, I can't wait to be right at the end of this year.
That's your new Bryce Young. He's taking the place of Bryce Young.
He's my new no, because not in that sense, but he's definitely the quarterback I'm falling in love with in this class.
I do want to give a quick shout out to Mason Graham because our guy Luke Newman, who's been on the pod twice, did say that was the toughest dude he had to block in his college tenure was Mason Graham. So he's definitely a stud. That D line should be disgusting, but they need to score.
Yeah.
All right, Reagan. Who is your MVP? Of course, it's Myles Garrett. Anyone outside of Myles Garrett you want to shed some light on potentially?
I mean, on the offensive side, not really. I mean, I could see Mason Graham having a big season. Ward's obviously still one of the top corners, so you got to give him his flowers as well. I don't know. I'm not even going to waste the time. It's Myles Garrett. Let's be real here.
It is Myles Garrett. Who is your X factor? Dylan Gabriel?
Dylan Gabriel.
Yeah.
Dylan Gabriel. Yeah, that is my X factor if he actually gets the chance.
I said quarterback, as in whoever wins the job. That's their X factor.
Bro, what was that noise? What do you got, a cell phone? What is that? You have a landline?
Someone's trying to buzz to get in my apartment, but they're not getting in. I'm not letting them in.
Sorry, Drock. You're not coming home.
Yeah, no one's walking in right now because we're talking the X factor for the Cleveland Browns. And it is the quarterback position. Whoever it is, if the quarterback can put more than 20 points on the board with this defense, they should have a chance to win some games. But I don't know. Who's your rookie of the year?
Yeah, this one's interesting because they actually drafted a lot of rookies that'll have a lot of chances to play. So I'll mix it up here just in case Dylan Gabriel doesn't win the job and just to be different. I like Schlesinger. I think he's going to be a beast at the middle linebacker. I think he's going to have a lot of tackles, have a big impact. I think it's a guy that ended up suffering from the aspect of positional value where back in the day, this is a first-round pick, but because middle linebackers have become less and less valuable over the past couple of years, he fell to the second round. I mean, we only saw one middle linebacker drafted this year, and you can look at the Lions too, and Jack Campbell, another guy that fell to the second round where he was the number one linebacker taken, and Peyton Wilson as well with the Steelers. It's just middle linebackers are not going in the first round like they used to. So this is a guy that's a huge talent, and I think he's going to have a big impact, and we're going to look at him and be like, wow, this guy just fell in the Cleveland's lap because of positional value. And I was talking about it on the Ravens ones as well with Linderbaum, a center, positional value, and Kyle Hamilton, a safety, falling. And then we talked about the Steelers with Zach Frazier. He fell as a center. So it just seems like a common case where these guys end up being top-tier guys, and they just fall far in drafts because of the value.
I like that call. I'm also going to go positional value, Quinshon Judkins here. Now, this is assuming no legal problems bleed into the season, and he's going to have to win this job from Jerome Ford. He was actually pretty solid last year.
And Sampson.
Yeah, and of course, Sampson. Sampson's a different style of back where they can play at the same time because Sampson's more got that burst. The thing with Sampson is, and this is a big thing about everyone that comes out of Tennessee, it's why Hendon Hooker fell. That's why Jalen Hyatt
was injured as well.
Jalen Hyatt fell. But the big producers on Tennessee's offenses, how many of them have been legit good in the NFL? Because they are it's known that Tennessee's offense is a heavy spread offense, and it's an offense that doesn't translate to the NFL very much, right? So with Sampson,
Alvin Kamara, right?
Yeah, I guess the last time someone was good was Alvin Kamara, right? And
or Cedric Tillman, I guess, but even him, he hasn't been anything amazing yet, but we've seen him put up a little bit of production, right? I think Tillman was a Tennessee guy.
Yep, he was with Hyatt. Yeah, he was. Absolutely. So, yeah, it's just tough to translate running that spread offense in Tennessee into the league. So that's the thing with Sampson, but he's got some juice, certainly, and he's the better pass catcher between him and Judkins. So he could have a role. Ford is more in the Judkins type of play style, but I think Judkins should take this backfield and just run away with it. I mean, he's got the pedigree. He's a former 5-star recruit. He's been at Ole Miss, been at Ohio State, won a national title. I already mentioned how good he was in stack boxes last year, which I anticipate is going to be the case given the quarterback situation in Cleveland. So I think Quinshon Judkins with his build at 225, 200, 250 carries, very much within range.
Yeah, no, I like that call to you. It'll be interesting. I think just like the quarterbacks, there'll be a lot of opportunities for all the running backs.
Yep. Depoy, of course, is Myles Garrett. So let's wrap it up here. Unless you have something else, Denzel Ward.
No, I'm just saying. Obviously, it's gonna be Garrett, but I could see Mason Graham or Schlesinger or Ward. There's a couple guys that you could say could end up having big seasons.
Yeah, if Mason Graham's fully healthy, he's probably the guy I'm most confident in the defensive side of the ball to be first team all rookie, given his position. where he's at D tackle, like, and how good he is. Like, D tackles never
And also,
go top
he's
5.
playing next to Myles Garrett, so that's going to only help him as well.
100%. 100%. Fantasy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm. It's tough, because I think you want to take Judkins. You're hoping that could be a nice RB2 or a flex for you. It's tough to take any of the pass catchers knowing you don't know who the quarterback's going to be. I mean,
Yeah, like
you
Judy at
saw a ton
1,200 yards. Like, no way that happens
because you
again.
saw he got cook with Jameis Winston. And it's like I think he could cook with Flacco, but like, what will he look with some of the other quarterbacks? And then you saw like not I want to say I was going to say Deshaun Kaiser, but I meant Dorian Thompson, Robinson coming in,
yeah.
and the passing game was just non-existent, and the guys just did nothing for fantasy. So I'm trying to stay away from most of these options. I don't mind Tillman just because I think he's going to be a late guy. I mean, I don't think Fanning can have a big enough impact that you can play him. And Joku's fine because it's a tight end, and it's like I said, it's such a weird position where depending on the matchup, it's like a dart throw. The running backs, I would say Dylan Sampson, you might as well try to target late in drafts and hoping that, maybe he does win the job. And even Jerome Ford, there's some value because I think Judkins is going to be the one that's ADP is pushed up super high, and you can take Sampson and Ford like late in drafts and maybe luck into the RB1 but then again, like, do you want an ugly 3-man timeshare?
Not
Probably not
really.
in a
And
non-high-powered
also,
offense. Like, I might
yeah,
just stay away from this offense completely.
yeah. I mean, for me, I got Judkins in 2 dynasty leagues. Like, that's a long-term play.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
I'm
different,
very
yeah.
bullish on him. And redraft, like, yeah, I like Judkins. His ADP, I think, somewhere in the 70s or 80s right now. So that's
So,
not
like, a
that's
4th, 5th round pick, no, like a 5th round pick, yeah.
it's not cheap. That's not cheap. So I guess for me, it is Cedric Tillman as the guy farther down the board. And look, it's going to be tough, but that 4-game sample last year before he got hurt, that ended his season, was very promising. Again, though, it was with Jameis, right? So it is hard to know. But I'd rather take Tillman at his ADP than Judy at his ADP.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. That's fair. But we'll see. Just avoid the team. If you can, just avoid them.
Yeah, I'd avoid the Browns. But
Stay
Browns
away from
fans,
them.
it's been fun talking about your team. At least you guys don't have to watch Deshaun Watson this year. Let us know who is going to win the quarterback battle in Cleveland down in the comments. Drop a like. We appreciate you tuning in. Reagan, any last words?
No, that's all I got outside of let's go Dylan Gabriel. But also, Browns fans, who do you want to see? First off, who do you want to see play quarterback? And are you team Gabriel or team Sanders or, like Colin said, team tank for 2026 for the quarterback? You got a lot of options.